Hey, everybody. It's a Wednesday edition of The Bullpen with Adam the Bull. It is August 24th, 2022, and I've got plenty to talk about today. We are just a couple of weeks away from the start of the NFL season. It's 15 days until the season gets underway. 18 days until the Browns play their first game. And so a lot to get to there. But we'll begin with the Guardians playing a late night game and getting a victory. That's coming up right here in the Bullpen with Adam the Bull.
Podcast is not for the faint of heart.
And I do think it's time for the Browns to move on.
It's not for those who ride the fence.
He's proven nothing.
But if you're looking for someone who tells it like it is about Cleveland sports,
Everybody does fandom their way.
you've come to the right place.
I don't think he's any good.
It's time for the Bullpen with Adam the Bull.
Here I am back in the bullpen on this Wednesday, looking quite grubby. I'm kind of growing the beard, I think, right now. I've been wearing it like it's a shirt. I don't know. You know, it's much grayer than the last time I kind of let the beard grow in. I'll probably end up shaving at some point. I think it's just still too warm to have it regularly. But definitely this winter, and the winter sadly will be here before you know it, I think I'm going to let the beard grow in. I don't know. You know, I'm losing hair on my head. At least I gained it on my face. I don't know. Anyway, the Guardians getting a victory last night. If you stayed up late to watch it, like I did, hopefully you did. You got the good news. Guardians get the victory. Not only that, but both the Twins and the White Sox lost yesterday. So the Guardians now 9 games over 500 at 65 and 56. But more importantly, have their biggest lead this year in the American League Central. The Twins are really floundering at the moment. They are 3 games back, just 3 games over 500. The White Sox are 4 back, just 1 game over 500. And the Guardians right now, according to ESPN's percentage chance of making the playoffs, take this for what it's worth. It's not, an exact science, obviously. They have the Guardians with a season-high 67.1% chance to make the playoffs, which means, if you don't know math very well, and we all can struggle with it at times, with 41 games remaining, according to them, if you played those final 41 games for the Guardians plus the, 41 for the other two, although the White Sox actually have 39 games left, that 2 out of 3 times the Guardians would make the playoffs. I think that's probably accurate. It might even be a little higher. I've been saying, not that it's a bold prediction at this point, but I've been saying for a while I think the Guardians have a very good chance to make the playoffs. As every day goes by, I like their chances even more. The White Sox, I kept expecting the White Sox to make a run at some point this year because I just thought they were, in the end, the most talented team. But you know what? They've had a lot of injuries, and they have not played well. They made, in my opinion, a terrible decision 2 years ago hiring Tony La Russa to be their manager. In general, I think now, outside of Terry Francona, I think you're better off going with a younger manager that has a better feel for the modern game. Terry Francona is so good, and unlike La Russa, never left the game. And La Russa, to me, is just so out of touch at this point. But the White Sox never made that run. The Twins, who, have some talent as well and are just really struggling, they have – I looked at it yesterday. I know I texted it to my buddy because my pal Ed and I are, like, nerds like this. The Twins have 16 players on the injured list. 16, tied with the Reds for the most, which, the Reds – and if you look at the players, the Twins – not only do they have 16 guys on the injured list, like a lot of those guys are important players, including Byron Buxton, one of their best players, who just went on the IL yesterday. So the Twins are in some serious trouble. The White Sox just don't seem to be, at this point, I don't think they're going to get that hot streak that I've been expecting for most of the year. You look at their run differential, they probably should be under 500. And I think as long as the Guardians don't have one of these terrible losing streaks, and, I've been concerned about that because they've been a team all year that's gotten really hot and then gone really cold. And we could still see that. It still wouldn't stun me in these final 41 games if the Guardians hit a week or so where they lost 7-10. I mean, it still could happen. Don't count your chickens just yet. This division is not over because the Guardians, remember, that they're a young team. We had Tom Hamilton, the great Tom Hamilton, on the show, on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show Monday. If you missed it, go back and check it out. Man, it was really a pleasure having him on. He's such a great broadcaster. I don't really know Tom personally. I met him once briefly years ago. He probably wouldn't even remember. Because I think it was I think I had just been in Cleveland a couple of years when I met him, and it was very briefly. But he is just, man, he's a great broadcaster. His voice is just awesome. And I like that he's not afraid to, be critical of the team when necessary. He doesn't kill them or anything, but he's just, not going to pretend something's perfect when it's not. Love that. He's just awesome. I could listen to him every day. I can't remember why I brought up Tom. But, I brought up Tom because he mentioned the other day how 14 players on the team have made their major league debuts this year. And that's part of the reason that this team has been inconsistent in terms, well, I shouldn't say inconsistent because they haven't been inconsistent lately, but that we've had these hot and cold streaks because young players are going to be a little more volatile in their performance. And so it's certainly possible, because they've played very well overall since the All-Star break, that we could still be in store for a cold streak that could tighten things up. Because it's not like the Guardians are running away with this. It's 3 and 4 games. It's the biggest it's been, but it's certainly not over. And so the Guardians are going to have to try to avoid that, or if they get that cold stretch, keep it to 5-7 days and not 2.5 weeks, because they've had some bad stretches early in the season. Hopefully they're through that. Hopefully it does happen. If it does happen, it happens before the playoffs, and it's not damaging enough to allow the Twins and White Sox, because, again, neither of those teams is playing particularly well, so they could survive it, but hopefully it won't happen. Hopefully they push through it, and the young guys continue to play well. This was the week I was concerned with, so we'll see how it goes, because it gets off to a good start, because this is I've been talking about it for a week. I was very concerned about this road trip. San Diego's a good team. Seattle's a good team. They'll play Seattle after they play the Padres this afternoon. Again, a second game, but then they'll go to Seattle after that. So anyway, from last night's game, it's, one of those games where, again, it was decided by the bullpens. Clevenger gave up the 2 runs that did give the Guardians the lead, but it came down to the bullpens at the end, and that's where, in a lot of cases, the Guardians are going to have an advantage, and they did again yesterday. It wasn't like the Guardians did much hitting yesterday. Mike Clevenger, who's, been okay this season, he's been better lately. He's been pitching better lately, and he pitched a good game. He only gave up 2 hits, but fortunately for the Guardians, they were both home runs. Gonzalez and Jimenez, and the Jimenez home run put them up 2-0, and then the Padres got the run in the 5th when they knocked Savali out of the game. And Savali didn't pitch a bad game. He got in trouble in the 5th, and Tito got him out of there because, frankly, every game's really important right now, and it's clear Francona doesn't have a ton of trust in Savali. Now, he'd already hit 95 pitches. That's a lot of pitches for the 5th inning. So you can't be, at this point, Terry can't worry about trying to get a guy a win. He's in trouble. You got to get out of the inning. Sandlin did a good job, got out of the inning. And again, the bullpen last night combined for 4 1/3, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Including Karachek, who got himself in a little bit of trouble in the, was it the 7th inning? Yeah, he pitched the 7th. And he got himself into trouble, but got himself out of it. And, credit to him. He's been really good. All these guys have been good. Jay mentioned on the show yesterday, Morgan, who was great early, is the only guy you don't trust. You don't. I mean, everybody else has been spot on. And we know what Clase has been. The strikeout to walk ratio continues to be insane. Doesn't allow a base runner, 2 strikeouts, 10 pitches thrown. Remember, this guy he turned 24 right before the season started. I mean, just remarkable. On the season now, 57 strikeouts in 52 and two-thirds innings. That's really good. Now, it's not elite compared to some of the other closers, but it's really good. Here's what's elite. 6 walks. 6 walks. If he gets 3 more strikeouts before his next walk, he will have a 10-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, which is unheard of. And so the guy doesn't get himself in trouble. He's only given up 28 hits in 52 innings, which is really good too. But you're going to give up hits sometimes. But the command is what has made Emmanuel Clase the best closer in baseball this year. Now, these things ebb and flow. He might not be the best closer in baseball next year. But right now, go through the rest of this season, assuming it goes the way it has, through the start of next year, you trust him as much as anybody, and if anything, he might even get better because he's so. I'm surprised. You look at how nasty his stuff is. I think his strikeout per 9 is going to get even better. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if next year, after 52 and 2/3, he's got 75 strikeouts instead of 57. And when you're not giving up any hits, not giving up a lot of hits, not giving up a lot of walks, it's not really a big deal that your strikeout numbers are good but not elite. But overall, the guy has been sensational. And I loved him coming into the season, and he's made it pay off. He is the most trustworthy closer in the league right now. He's been the best. I think Edwin Diaz of the Mets has probably been the second best. It's close. But I think the fact that Clase's ability to command the strike zone is unrivaled right now amongst closers in baseball. It's just ridiculous. And you think about it. Remember, he gave up runs. Now the first game was unearned, but he gave up an unearned run in his first appearance, then gave up, I think it was a 2-run homer against the Royals. So those first 2 appearances against the Royals, he gives up 3 runs, 2 earned. And then he pitched against the Yankees on April 23rd and gave up another 2 runs there. And since then, he gave up 4 earned runs in his first 6 appearances. And since then, he's given up 6 earned runs the rest of the season. You're talking about, let's see, an inning 4. So he's given up 6 earned runs in his last 48 innings. I mean, that is just absurd. So since giving up those 4 runs early, he gives up like 1 run a month. That's about it. I mean, he's in fact, he's only given up 1 run since July the 6th. July the 6th, he gave up a run. I think he gave up a solo homer against the Tigers. Since then, he's given up just 5 hits, 1 run, and 0 walks. He hasn't walked a guy since July the 3rd. I mean, he's gone almost 2 months without walking a batter. Anyway, I got a little deep in the weeds on Emmanuel Clase, but I'm just so impressed with how he's pitched and how the whole bullpen is pitched. Karinchak looked like a disaster last year, and he has put it all back together. He's dominating. He's throwing all the strikeouts. Sandlin, Steffen, all these guys. Even though Shaw's been okay, although I don't trust him. I don't trust Shaw. I know my man Dustin Fox doesn't trust Shaw either. But they get the home runs. They tack on the insurance run. Jose Ramirez with his 100th RBI in the 8th inning. And the bullpen shuts the door. And the Guardians get a victory. As I mentioned today, I think it's a 4 o'clock game. Let me just double check that. Yeah, 4:10. The Guardians get a break because Yu Darvish was supposed to pitch in this afternoon's game, and obviously Yu Darvish is one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's been really good. He's having a tremendous season. And his wife just gave birth, apparently, or is about to. And so last night before the game, in case you missed it, they placed him on the paternity list. So he will not pitch today. He's, gone to be with his family. Wish him the best. But it's a break. The Guardians instead will face Blake Snell, who's a good pitcher, but he's not close to Yu Darvish. He doesn't have that, Yu Darvish is one of the best strikeout pitchers in baseball. Blake Snell has 88 strikeouts in 136 innings. Oh, excuse me. What am I doing? Flipped it. That's Quantrill's numbers. Bad job out of me. Snell does have a lot of strikeouts. However, brain freeze. However, he does allow a lot of base runners. He walks a lot of batters. And the bottom line is he's not nearly as good as Yu Darvish. He hasn't been the same pitcher since earlier in his career. So, nice break for them today. All right, take a break. Speaking of breaks, I'm going to take a break here real quick. And when I come back, I'm going to switch gears. Get to the NFL, which, again, the opening day game, 15 days away now. I can't wait for real football. I'm sick of the preseason. That and more coming up. First, my friends, I want to talk to you about Built Bar. If you haven't tried Built Bar Puffs yet, you are depriving yourself of one of life's greatest joys. And guess what? There's a new flavor. Indulgent cookie dough covered in chocolate. Yes, Built has done it again. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Cookie dough chunk puffs. Boom. All the joys of eating cookie dough without the hassle of making it. Plus, it's good for you. Cookie dough chunk puffs are only 160 calories with a whopping 15 grams of protein. Run to Built.com to snag a box for you and the family. Like all Built bars, the new cookie dough chunk puff is covered in 100% real chocolate. That means they're healthy and tasty. Chocolate-covered cookie dough with a light, fluffy texture. What's great about Built is that all of their bars are made with collagen protein. It's fantastic. You're going to love the new cookie dough chunk puff. Whether you need a snack for your workout, a late-night treat, or just need to grab a quick bite, Built is the perfect protein bar. They taste better than a candy bar. Ditch the calories, fat, sugar. Grab yourself a Built bar. Go to Built.com, BUILT.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDON15 and get 15% off your order. That's LOCKEDON15, LOCKEDON15 at Built.com. All right. Oh, a little nasally right now. To be honest, I need a tissue, and I don't have one in reach. And if I get up, you'll see I'm not wearing any shorts. I'm just doing this in my boxers, to be totally honest, which is why I can't really get up and get a tissue. A little more information than you needed to know. By the way, yesterday did my 10th cameo video. For a kid that is learning how to drive a stick, and I shared my story, and I shout out to Mason. Good luck on Monday, first day of school. If you want me to I've done congratulations video, encouragement videos, fantasy videos. I've ripped people when I've been asked to get well videos. Check out my Cameo profile at cameo.com. Check out, obviously Adam the Bull. You can check me out on Twitter, of course, if you don't already. I'm sure most of you do. And check out my website, adamthebull.com, where you can book me to do speaking engagements. I can marry you. I married my buddy Jonathan Peterl and his beautiful wife Elise. So if you're interested, check out my website for more information on that. All right, so football-wise, as I mentioned, 15 days till the season gets started. Really looking forward to having some real football. And the schedule, or I wonder, like, sometimes I feel like, are fans excited? Are you only excited about your team, or are you excited about just the start of football in general? I know for me, and probably part of it's because I'm a fantasy football guy, too, is I'm excited about it. It's a great game. The Thursday night opener is Bills and Rams. And by the way, on the podcast, I'm going to, on both Thursdays and Fridays, I'll be picking all the NFL games once we get into the season. Bills are a 2.5-point favorite at the Rams. My early lean is with the Bills, but we'll see. We got time here, 2 weeks. That's a great game. What a great game to start the season. Now, we know the Browns and Panthers are playing at 1 o'clock, but let's look at the other night games in the first week of the season. So you got Bills-Rams Thursday night, great game. Sunday night, week 1, Buccaneers-Cowboys, another really good game. Buccaneers are a 1-point road favorite in that one. And then the Monday night game, no doubleheader, is Broncos-Seahawks. It's on paper, it's not a great game, but obviously it's Russell Wilson going back to Seattle. So his first start as a Bronco is in Seattle. So it'd be interesting, like, what the crowd is like. Because I think, are fans booing Russell Wilson? Probably some. I don't know. I'd be curious to see what happens. How much booing he will get. But this just a lot of good games the first week of the season. In addition to the ones we mentioned, you got Steelers-Bengals playing the same time as the Browns on the opening Sunday. You've got Patriots-Dolphins is an interesting game. And then at 4 o'clock, what's the best game there? You got Packers-Vikings, you got Chiefs-Cardinals, and you got Raiders-Chargers. So some really good games there. Are there any double-digit favorites in week 1? I don't think so. The Colts are the biggest favorite as of now. At Houston, they are an 8-point favorite. I think it's too big. And the Ravens are a 7-point favorite at the Jets. And let's see, the Niners are a 7-point favorite against the Bears. So the 3 biggest favorites are all road teams. The biggest home favorite is actually the Bengals, I think. Yeah. Bengals are a 6.5-point favorite at home against the Steelers. That might be a little high for week 1. And I don't think the Steelers are going to be very good. But, Burrow has been coming back from injury from the appendectomy he had. I don't know if you call it an injury, but he had surgery. He could be a little rusty early, first week or 2. We'll see. But I can't wait. And a lot of it is because I play fantasy football. Obviously, if you're a fantasy football person like I am, then you just, as much as you love your team. And for me, it's always weird. It's just this weird thing that I can't even explain. Like, obviously, I'm a Bengals fan. I've never tried to hide that from you folks. And, I'm excited for their season. I think they're a playoff team. But I also want the Browns to do well. I want the Browns. Like, I've never lied. I'm going to be rooting for the Browns to win every game except for the games against the Bengals. I'm keeping it real as always. But I'll be honest, I don't want them to play each other in the playoffs. I know that it would be. It's just to put. I just hate. I didn't want the Indians and the Cubs to play in the World Series. I really didn't. I would have been much happier to have the Cubs beat the Blue Jays that year and the Indians beat the Dodgers the following year or whatever, or vice versa. I'd have been thrilled, much happier. As happy as I was, I would have been much happier to see the Cubs beat another team one year and the Indians beat another team the next year, or vice versa. because I'm invested. I've been here a long time now. I have, I like the teams. And it's weird. It's an experience that I never thought I'd have, having interest in another team. But, you're here for so long and you meet so many people and you just kind of get invested in the team. So it's a weird situation for me. I know some people think it's phony, but if you know me, you know it's not, but whatever. So it's a tricky thing. But I'm looking forward to the whole season because I'm obsessed with fantasy football. I'm in a record, I think 5 leagues this year. I do 2 leagues that I've been doing for years and years that started with a bunch of guys, that I grew up with in the New York area. It's evolved over the years, and now not everybody lives in that area. But and then, since I've come to Cleveland, I've been in a couple of leagues. I won one we call the Rocky River Dads League. Bunch of guys I know. So, well, I don't know all of them, but a lot of them that, in Rocky River here. And I've been doing a league with Dustin down in Canton for a while. So we'll do that league again. Dustin and I partner up on a team there. And this year, obviously, we're starting an Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show League. So that'll be my 5th one. Some people do 1 million. But I think, 5 is bad. I do 5, and then I got my baseball fantasy league. And, I last year we started a fantasy basketball league, which I won. I'm the first-year champion. Got to defend my title there. That league is a lot of guys from around here, some media members too. Got my man Zach Meisel's in it, Jonathan Peterlin. Our old buddy Nick Fink joined this year from The Fan, who used to be on The Fan. Chris Fedor is in it as well. So I think this is somebody else. I feel like there's one other person, local media, that's in that one. It's just not coming to me right now. Anyway, quick break, and then we'll wrap things up and say goodbye. Coming up next in the bullpen. BetOnline.net, the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your favorite sports and events as the number 1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Love it, man. So many people are betting these days. You need all the help you can get. You got to go with BetOnline.net. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering information. For live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts, they've got you covered. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right. Final thoughts here. The game may be starting, but the show is ending. From TV. Last night, my wife and I watched the season finale of Only Murders in the Building. It's a weird show if you don't watch it. It's on Hulu. It stars Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. It's funny. It's cheesy. Like if somebody said, give me a couple of shows to recommend, I don't know that I'd necessarily be on the top of my list, but there's so few things. There are so few shows these days that make me laugh that it's worth watching, even though it is cheesy. There's just some really funny lines, and Martin Short's really funny, and so is Steve Martin. So there's some really funny parts. And there was an interesting cameo. I won't spoil it for those who like it and maybe haven't seen the final episode yet. There was an interesting cameo in the season finale. But I give it a thumbs up, but it's not like a must watch, but it's definitely worth watching. Is what I'll say. All right, that's going to do it for me today. Again, check out my website, AdamTheBull.com. Follow me on Twitter at AdamTheBull. The cameo I've talked about. Check live stream, of course, Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Streaming on YouTube, 11 a.m., 1 p.m. every day. Make sure you subscribe. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube page, which includes this podcast, The Bullpen. That's how you find it, through the YouTube page. through the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show YouTube page. So please subscribe there. I will. Jay's off the rest of the week, so I'll be in the host chair for the rest of the week. We got some interesting combinations and some interesting topics coming up over the next few days. Check out my website, adamthebull.com. Make sure you check out the Locked On Browns podcast with my guy G. Bush. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Where else but right here? It's the Bullpen with Adam the Bull. See ya. I'm going to go put on some pants now.